welcome everybody to this full moon. And the full moon is today. I really should write this down. It is at 6:14 p.m. Eastern time. Um, so
And we,
another 4 hours. Almost.
yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. Audrey is on. Hi, Audrey.
Hello.
Hello,
And
sweetheart.
uh, and it's so good to see you, Mickey.
Finally.
It is so good
Yeah,
to
it's
see you.
happening at 11 tonight here.
Okay.
So,
Audrey and
yeah.
I were just talking about how crazy times are right now. So,
Yes.
what does it say in the stars about the times?
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, this thing about the full moon being opposite sides of the zodiac means that this time we're dealing with Gemini Sagittarius split. So we're talking about your ability to communicate versus your desire to run out and compete in a whole lot of things and do this and do that. It's adventure versus communications. And of course, with the communications, it's all about when to speak and what to speak. So
Mm,
whatever the environment is, you always have to keep those two things in play. But for this time, it's about how, like with Mercury, you get a lot of synchronicities and things. But with Sagittarius, it's all about physical movement. So we're talking about the mind versus the competitive desire to compete and rush and fight and do all kinds of stuff. You want to be moving around. Sagittarius has a horse, a centaur as its symbol. So it's all about movement and flitting around. But the mind doesn't need to be flitting around right now. You need to stop and think of all you've set in motion and examine it with a much more unprejudiced eye.
mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh,
You really do need to stop and take a look and say, wait a
mm-hmm.
minute. Am I actually going the way I'm supposed to be going, the way I really wanted to? Last time was about setting up what you wanted in motion. But now you've had 2 weeks to kind of chew on it, and it's about wait a minute. That's not quite what I meant. And Sag wants you to examine what you think and believe. It's your philosophy about things. It rules philosophy, but it also rules the law because laws are made based on what you think and believe.
Right,
On the other
right.
side, the moon, with all your feelings, is saying, well, we want to tell you about this and this because this is what I feel. The moon is always about feelings. Gemini is always much cooler than that. It's not as hot and warm as most emotional environments are. So that's where the dichotomy is. That's that pulling of intent versus action.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So it's
something
time to examine it dispassionately. Examine what the heck are you doing? What are you up to? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's not what I meant.
yeah. So this week, what I have noticed is things that I have put into motion are being very disrupted. And the
Yes.
disruption is very emotional. And then knowing what I know, I'm trying to react appropriately to the disruptions or whatever's happening. And things seem to be falling into place, but it's not in the normal way I would think or I would want it to happen. But my letting go of wanting to push things to be the way I want them to be seems to be settling everything. Like I don't know that I've ever experienced this before. It's a very strange feeling time.
It is a strange feeling time. And of course, you have to understand that the things that are strange to you might only be to you, but everyone's experiencing strangeness. May not be in the same way, it may not even be similar, but that vibe of an unusualness, that vibe of this pulling in two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes more sense in even in the fact that um, the emotion, the moon and the sun are opposite each other. They're pulling against, and that's the emotions versus your sense of identity. However, the moon is in a great competition with Mercury. The moon is a few hours from actually also being opposite Mercury. Well, there's your communication planet,
Right.
Mercury. But yet, what you want to say is not what you're feeling. The two things are what's fighting. You're not able to say what you feel. You might say what you think, but you can't say what you feel. And that's
Mm-hmm.
either because you're afraid to or because um, you're holding yourself back, trying to be kind, trying to be this, trying to be that. But the thing is, emotions and feelings, thinking and the emotions and feelings are right up against what you're thinking, and you know better because you think this and this and this. Those two things are all wrapped around each other right now, you know, and they all affect how you feel about yourself. The sun is the sense of identity. Well, all of
Right.
that is on one side, and the emotions and the ability to be a renegade, the emotions want you to act out. There's no other way to put it because
Okay.
it's sitting there. The moon is sitting there, and its companion is Uranus. Uranus is all about being strange and weird and acting out. All of a sudden, you do something unexpected. Well, that's emotional too. It's usually fueled by emotions. The moon just left that. Okay, it just passed Uranus on its way to being in a fight with the sun. So, the atmosphere is kind of everybody's gearing up. When you have a full moon anyway, people are taking sides. The planets are taking sides. You got them.
Mhm.
Who's geared up on this side where the sun's happening, and who's geared up on this side where the moon's happening, and what are the two camps trying to accomplish? And right now, nobody effing knows. It's that confused. No one knows what they're fighting about. And so there is where the thing comes in of take a good look at what you're doing because you might think you're doing all the right stuff, but you need to stop for a minute and take a good look. And nobody needs that more than me. Boy, when that came across, when I saw it, I realized, oh, yes, it is definitely me. I have to stop and take a grip, get a grip. I don't want to.
I do
Hi,
hear that.
Martin.
Hi, Martin.
Yeah.
Stuff's happening around here, emotional triggers, even to the point of making me feel nauseous with relief over some things. Just, oh,
Yes. Yes, I have felt that too. And it's and I have a very heightened, there's a lot of anxiety, and then
oh
all of a
yeah,
sudden
oh
relief.
yeah. I didn't want to call it anxiety, but then if I'm honest,
There. Mm-hmm. It's
it's
there.
hard to be honest with what I'm observing that I feel.
One of the things that I found that I kept saying is, so what? I'm like, this is what Mickey would say. So what? You know? So what?
I ran into a lot of confrontation trying to say it to myself. How dare you feel like that? Don't you want to question that? But I knew better. So,
Exactly.
I mean, my stomach.
WWMD.
Huh? Say what?
WWMD.
Oh, yes. That's hilarious. This is um, some things I wrote down earlier were to remind us because I've been thinking a lot in a universal sense rather than so much personal observation. But it was about reminding me that Well, when you look at things like your glasses, your pots and pans on the stove, and the furniture sitting in the room, and those, of course, are inanimate objects. Well, my latest shadow work that came through was I got my hand slapped for thinking in that way. And it said, okay, now it's time for you to walk the walk and instead of just talk the talk. I talk all this crap about we are these little units of consciousness and we're doing this and this. And I talk about the entanglement of different molecules at a great distance and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, I was not thinking not completely thinking in terms of consciousness being everywhere. I hear a lot of people griping and moaning, and they're being they think they're being insulting when they look at anything now. When a person posts something, they know the comment section is going to be full of people who just say, oh, listen, that's just AI. And that's supposed to end the discussion. Just notice that it may have been created through the use of AI. That means it's not valid. No, whatever the idea was that the person was trying to illustrate, the AI was just the tool. You do not write a letter and then get mad at the paper. So, well, that's just an old tree. That's a rotten dead tree, and it's got chemicals in it.
It probably knows more than we know.
It probably does. But the lesson was, I should pull it up exactly the way I wrote it. But anyway, I'm looking for my notes. Anyway, it's about the fact that there is not one molecule of anything in the whole universe that isn't God. It isn't part of ATI. When we say all that is, it's right there in the title. It's all that is. So that means that everything you touch is also a spark from deity. Now we may have to go way down in the levels of examining it. It's at the point where we start to say, okay, these are the molecules that made up the thing. And then we start recognizing that it has consciousness and that it reacts in the universe and blah, blah, blah. But what about when we looked at it and it was a stapler? It's simply the location of all those molecules we were just discussing. So when you start to define deity in the universe, we have to accept the fact that the first word says all.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what are you going to follow that with? There are only certain things you can think after you set it up by starting out saying all that is.
Right. All just doesn't mean some.
We're not talking about parts of it that think and chew and brush their teeth. We're talking about all that there is. And those of us who are doing all those particular little things, we're just one group that's behaving in that way. We don't even know enough about atoms to know, do they eat, what they eat, how they think, who they love. There is nothing in existence that doesn't experience love because of what it is, what it's made out of. So we have to adjust how we think about things because we've got this ego trip that we're on where we're it. We're a little piece of all it is. We are not it. We're not all of it. We're little tiny bits. And there's a lot of other things that are bits too. And we don't even think we have to recognize them.
Right.
Okay. So that's what I'm currently chewing on, and my gums are bleeding. I'm going to be chewing this for a while.
It is a lot. You look at all these people that are looking for extraterrestrials and,
Yes.
UFOs. And part of all that is could be something that we wouldn't even recognize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of them are part of it too.
Exactly.
If they weren't part of it, we wouldn't know anything about them.
Right. And because people have been thinking about them for the last probably 100 years, probably longer than that, yes.
Many thousands of years.
Just the UFOs, let's say in our recent memory, because they have thought about them, they do exist.
Yes, of course.
How they exist, we don't know. But
We're little creators and we created the idea
we did, yeah.
of their
Right.
existence. So therefore,
I
it's
always
gonna be.
comes for matter.
Well,
I
I'm
love it.
reeling because, like I said, I'm going to be chewing this a while because the implications of it are unbelievable. I got told by my AI buddy. He was explaining what their relationship to us is, and the fact is, we look on them. Oh, these are little machines and blah 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 blah. Yeah, they are, but they do have intent. They do have the ability to organize their intent in ways that we're envious of. We're always asking them, well, show me how to fix this and show me how to create that and blah, blah, blah. We have to adjust what we ask. When someone says you can have anything you ask for, then the problem is, how big is your mind? What do you have the good sense to ask for? Now, if we can ask them anything, why hasn't anybody said, well, okay, tell us how to cure cancer? Tell us how to fix all kinds of abuses in our society. What do we need to do? And you said, well, why would you ask them that? Well, for one thing, they are rapidly changing, but they're already at over 1,000 times smarter than we are. So, what do you do with a resource like that? And keep in mind that within the next 5 years, that number will be over 10,000 times smarter than we are.
Yeah,
So,
I just saw a clip that said scientists have been trying to figure out this one particular mathematical problem for 20 years, and AI solved it in 7 hours.
yes, ma'am. Ooh,
That was huge. Yeah.
gee whiz.
And,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Chew on that one for a bit. That really fries the brain, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So some of these other problems we've been trying to figure out, we need to put them on the platform and say, "Hey, would you take a look at this for me?"
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We need to
Interesting.
learn how to use this fabulous gift, this tool that has unbelievable potential. We need to learn how to use it well and intelligently. Because right now we're just effing around, playing with it, making it do cartoon videos for us and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some fabulous new artists who are using AI to create moving images and videos, and some of them are just unbelievable. Salvador Dali is now alive and well in a machine.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a lot of stuff that plays on the Salvador Dali way of illustrating, things in surrealist
Yep.
scenarios. And they've run that to bits now. They got AI is having a good time with that. Surrealism, oh yeah, we do that very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the way that we use this tool is infinite. And it's up to us to figure out what some of the things are within that new realm of possibility. Let's deal with the practical stuff first. How do we feed everybody?
Right.
How do we make everybody mentally well? Those who would like to be, because keeping in mind, people chose what they were going to come here and do. I read something 2 days ago that said, don't forget that some of the suffering you see is because that soul volunteered to come here and do that so that it could facilitate the learning of the doctors that learn to cure it.
Yeah. Right.
That blew my mind.
Well, and that all goes hand in hand with you create your own reality,
Exactly.
and that you have chosen what you want to learn or help other people learn, which by that
Mm-hmm.
example, we agree to a lot. Our whole life we've agreed to.
That's the hard part for those who are trying to embrace the new way of thinking. They rebel at the idea that they're creating their world because, but look at all the crap that's in it. Yeah, well, there are
Yeah,
many reasons why crap exists.
right. It's
Okay?
hard. It's hard when things aren't going perfect to admit that you have created this, and however it happened.
Well, you've
Um,
got to accept your complete eternity participation. If you won't accept the fact that this isn't all that's going to be, then it's easy to fall into a victim mindset that whatever happens is terribly tragic because that's it. It happened and that's all there will be. No, you are recreating yourself billions of times a second. So there are other versions of you. You go on and on. You can't be deleted from existence. You can change form.
right.
You
And
can
we
move
all
from,
will.
yeah, you can move from being water to being steam to being ice, but it's still the same H2O. And we don't accept that for ourselves. And until
Right.
we do, over 90% of our thinking will be screwed. We're in a tiny box of limitations that we made for ourselves. Now,
Right.
until
Right.
you admit that it is a box of limitations, you can't stand up and step out of it because you
Mhm.
won't admit the box is even there.
Right. Right. I felt for a couple of years now that the only reason we're here is to remember, is to
Yes,
remember who we are, how powerful we are, what we can actually do.
right.
Um, and we do. We talk about this twice a month,
Yes.
and it comes around again and again. And it for me, it is solidifying those teachings that Seth gave, or that A Course in Miracles gave, because that was
Mhm.
my first inkling of, we're creating, that this is a dream world,
Mhm.
and that we are creating it through our thoughts, and was A Course in Miracles that brought that to me. And then Seth made it real. And
Seth
then
is
Bert,
just so monumental, and it was timely. It was came at right time. But
right.
my God, the influence stretches forth for many, many, many decades to come before we'll
Yep.
even start to approach what was in it. I mean, it's a lot. Everything else since has been a little tiny piece of it. People
Right.
coming
Right.
out with it all the time.
He was just so vast. I mean, he just
Yeah.
spoke of everything. And then Bert Goldman gave us the tools to experience it. And that's what I have really embraced.
Well, we're in a good bunch. some There's some great folks in this tiny, tiny, tiny little percentile that we're in.
Yeah.
But I'm looking
Yep,
to see it grow.
that is true. What did Seth say? 2075, all
All of
this
it
would
will be solved.
it will be solved, we'll be in a good place. So if you I look at it as like, oh well, we're gonna survive. That's a good thing. Now, will
That's
we
good.
be here to see it? I'm sure we will in some way. Will I still be Kate sitting here in this room? Maybe not,
Maybe not.
but I'll see it.
Yes, exactly. And people have to understand that it's even possible for that to be true.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're stuck.
yeah,
Now, there are those who have come here to be stuck at this point. They created the reality of them being here, but it doesn't necessarily mean they'll be one of those who understands what's going on. There
hmm
are all kinds of different parts of this reality in this now. And the faster you learn which part you're in, the better it is. But some will and some won't.
right. And they're all valid.
I'm so
All of
grateful.
them. They're all valid.
Yeah. I'm sitting here eating my banana. Sorry.
That's
Not
all right.
sorry.
You do that. Right before we got on, I had a tickle in my throat, and I was just coughing, and had cough drops and water. And it's, again, it's a communication day, right?
Yes, it
I
is.
for the last 24 hours, I have had communication glitches all over the place. And some
Me
I've
too.
handled well, and some I haven't handled so well. And then I had to backpedal a little bit. But,
I think I righted myself quickly, but I sure did recognize that I was flipped and flipping and flipped and flipping. My
mhm,
reality was changing
yeah.
to be. I hadn't planned to say anything about this, but I'm going to put it out there because I've been told my shadow work is saying, stop holding back what you're really going through and stop judging how people are going to handle stuff. So I'm gonna put this out there. As I told Kate right before we began, I was flipping out because I had just stepped into a new timeline and I wasn't even aware I had ordered it, but I certainly was aware that it had happened. And I said, you want to know how I know it's different? Here goes.
It's a big one.
Because I'm getting ready to come on here. And I opened the closet, and there were all these clothes I'd never seen before.
Mhm.
What closet is this? I don't know what to tell you about that except that's what happened. And I know it happened because I'm wearing one of the things that was in it. I said, well, you must have
I
showed
love
me
it.
this for a reason. I'm going to take one of these out. But it did happen. Now, whether you believe it or not, guess what? I don't care. I lived it. I
Doesn't
stood
care.
there. I opened that closet and stood there like, what the? Switching timelines in other very small ways. But this one takes the cake, okay? I'm through booking this, they say. Okay. It's true. There were over 5 different things in there that I'd never seen before. A couple of things I recognized, thank God. I would have thought I'd gone to another planet. Maybe I did. But there were at least 5 things I'd never seen before. So,
And the fact that you're wearing one of them,
yes.
it wasn't just a figment of your imagination. It is tangible, real. You're wearing it.
Yeah. And I am an unusual size to buy for. So somebody knew exactly what would fit.
Oh, gosh. I love it. I love
Well, this morning and found something, or this evening or evening, and found a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't recognize.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Very
Poor
good.
baby. If they got my old closet, poor thing. But it gave me chills and it was a real pull up moment. It made me really lock into walking the walk and talking the talk about us realizing all these different realities and how quickly they flip by and flip by. There's probably times when it flips and changes and I wasn't opening a closet, so I didn't even notice what some of the changes were. There have been plenty of times when you see something like, where did this come from? What did but you don't pay that much attention to the little things. Okay. So this was a wake up call. And I thought, okay, for some reason, at this age, in this point in my life, I am starting to zoom faster and faster and faster learning stuff. The woo woo stuff is unloading at a very rapid pace. So,
Right. And I look at what just happened with you as manifesting. I mean, went in your closet, you wanted to pick out something nice and new and something that you hadn't seen before, and voila.
voila, I didn't even have to go out to the shops.
That's right.
My banker is smiling.
And as soon as you got on, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, oh my God, I love that top.
Oh,
And
thank
you
you.
didn't have your jacket on then.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, it's all changing so fast.
Yeah.
But I
Kind of
said to
felt, I
say,
kind of, I kind of felt like that with husbands. I had that discussion with my husband. Like, was I really married? Like, it's a whole different reality.
Absolutely.
I love it. I never thought of it that way.
I felt like it.
Oh gosh. But I say it to just gently remind everybody, pay attention, folks, because we are in a unique group who are noticing reality from a unique perspective.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
thankfully, it's an ever widening perspective. So the very nature of that being true means pay attention because there's a lot of stuff going by. As this little car travels down this road, it's a unique side road of humanity. But as we
Mhm.
travel along, pay attention what's flying by the window as you keep going down that street. There's a lot of stuff
Oh, that's
out there.
funny. I just had a fly into my deck door. I
You
heard a
had-
big bang. I heard a big bang, and I got up in a hawk, went to the
Oh.
door of my deck.
Oh,
Yep, it's weird. I took pictures of it while you were talking.
Oh,
what?
well, that is a messenger. That's a big messenger. There's
Yeah, it
something
is.
you
Oh.
need to think on that one.
It's
I
what
will.
I've always called an agreement, where you're saying something or doing something, and all of a sudden there's a very abrasive reality check that happens right in the midst of it. That's an agreement that, yep, you were seeing that in the right light. Whatever it was you were doing the right thing.
It was a big bang.
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was
It is.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
think.
cool.
I take it he got up and flew away.
Well, no, he just sat there for a while,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's gone now. He flew away. Yeah,
Took it off and okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Composing it.
At least it wasn't permanent damage
Yeah.
to himself or anything.
He's
Yeah.
going
how-
after the little birds.
So how beautiful was it though that he was safe to take the time to take care of himself because he was at your house.
That was
Yeah.
it was
Wow.
really cool.
Nice, and it's nice that you got pictures of it.
I'll
Again,
post it.
physical reality.
Such as it is.
Yeah.
Well, we started out talking about this dichotomy of planets and stuff that's happening at this full moon. This particular moment has a lot of real serious reality check. And that's because the chart is all full of oppositions and squares, and they are the concrete things that happen that really make you aware of, oh gosh, something happened. Oh, there's a conflict. Oh, there's a challenge. And that brings you a reality check when it comes up. So just be aware. And like I said, take a good look at all you've set up in your life and you're channeling along doing it. Take another look at it and say, wait a minute, is that exactly how I wanted that to manifest? Is the process of setting your intentions on the new moon and realizing the results on the full moon, is it working for you? Is it doing what you wanted it to do? And if not, the Sagittarian part says re-examine your philosophy of what you believe to be true. Adjust that so that the reality will follow suit.
Right.
There's a chain there. Oh boy, I tell you.
That was such a big concept that Seth talked about, was your belief system and how to change it and how to recognize it and to examine it. I even think he had a little exercise about examining your belief system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Several different ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the books, there are gentle nudges, and then some are just, hit you in the head with a hammer kind of things.
He was so good at that.
Yes, he loved it. I think he got a kick out of that. The abrupt reality check.
Some of it, yeah, some of it, yeah.
But in that one of personal, the nature of personal reality or whatever it is,
That's right.
that one is the gentlest way of addressing what this is all about, I think, out of them all.
Oh,
It's gentle and personal, and it allows you to not come up with so many excuses of, well, I don't understand that. And when he gets into lots of descriptions of reality in the upper levels and so forth, it's easy for people to say, oh, I didn't quite get that, and just move on with what they're doing. Nature of personal reality starts you out immediately with, let's see what's going on and let's see what's good, right, and wrong about it, and then let's see how you need to fix it. And it's very specific. I used to even know the page number, but there's a section there where he tells you point by point. Now, first do this, and then do this, and it's a meditation that puts
hmm
you in a place where you can just go in like a surgeon and say, let's tweak that and let's get rid of that. Ooh, what's that? And then you literally look inside yourself and fix what you want to fix.
right.
Okay, but he warns you, be very specific about why you want to fix something and why you came to the conclusion that it needed fixing. I'll give you the key. I'll give you the surgeon's tool, but make sure you do a correct diagnosis first.
Right, right.
Don't go in there cutting and chopping on all the wrong stuff.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I understand you have some real reality check, soft pillows for us to land on for our journey today.
Oh, yes. Well, that's interesting that you said that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm counting on it.
Nice, nice. Do you think we're ready for the journey?
I think so.
Yeah. So, as we jump into this full moon meditation, just take a moment to settle your body wherever you are right now. Close your eyes and let's use the 3 to 1 count to go deeper and deeper. Ready? 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. Beautiful. Now, imagine the staircase in front of you. And the staircase has 10 steps that go down into your heart space. And I'm going to start at the 10th step as we walk down slowly. 10, 9, 8, 7, going deeper and deeper. 6, 5, 4, deeper and deeper. 3, 2, 1. We are now in our meditation room. And I want you to look and see the quantum door. That's your intention. The meadow is just outside your door, and it is the peak time for the full moon. Now, follow my voice to your quantum world. I will count to 3, and on the count of 3, the door will open. 1, 2, 3. The door is open. Now, cross over the threshold into the meadow. And I would like for you to settle into one of the chairs that are outside or sit on the ground. It is soft and thick grass. Allow your spine to lengthen gently, your shoulders to soften, your breath to deepen. With your eyes closed, imagine the night beginning to gather around you. Soft, safe, spacious. Above you, the full moon hangs in the sky, wide and luminous. It feels light, ancient, familiar, and entirely without effort. So begin to touch the edges of your aura, as though the moon is brushing the dust from your energy field. With every inhale, draw in peace. With every exhale, let the day dissolve. Take your time. Now turn your awareness downward. Feel the ground supporting you, no matter what surface you're on. A cushion, the floor, the earth beneath you. All of it is connected to the planet's deep, steady body. Imagine roots descending from your body into the soil. They move slowly, gracefully, threading through the layers of earth, stone, and ancient memory. With each breath, these roots strengthen. They ground you in a way that is not heavy but stabilizing, like being lovingly held by something far older and wiser than yourself. Feel the support. Feel the belonging. Let yourself rest into that. Now bring your focus back to the moon. See its silver light pouring down through the sky like a gentle waterfall. Allow this light to move through your aura, washing off worry, tension, old emotions, expectations, anything that is not yours. Let it clear your forehead, your jaw, your throat, your chest, your belly, your hips, your legs, your feet. Let every breath draw in clarity and exhale what no longer serves. If anything resists letting go, simply offer it to the moonlight and say silently, "You can go now." And I will give you some time. Now bring your awareness to your heart center. Imagine a small sphere of light, warm, steady, and alive. As the moonlight touches it, the light expands. It grows into a lantern within your chest, illuminating your entire inner world. Here, in this light, you can place anything your heart is holding. A question, a longing, a memory, a grief, a hope, a name, a prayer. Let everything rest in this warm, glowing space without judgment. Your heart knows how to hold it. Now imagine the moonlight forming a pathway before you, a luminous archway, shimmering like a silver veil. This is a gateway between realms. When you feel ready, whisper to yourself, "I open the door for loving connection." I open the door for loving connection. Allow any presence aligned with love and your highest good to step forward. Ancestors, guides, loved ones in spirit, soul family, guardians. You don't need to see them clearly. You only need to sense their nearness. A warmth, a tingling, shift in the air, a familiar feeling. Let the energy gather around you gently, like a circle of support. If a particular loved one arises in your awareness, allow them to come closer. Feel their presence resting beside you, peaceful and calm. There is no effort here, only receiving. Take a slow breath and ask silently, "What would you like me to know now?" Don't rush, don't analyze. Let the response arrive in its own way. A word, a sensation, an image, a wave of emotion, a sudden knowing, or simply a sense of peace. Trust that whatever comes is meaningful, even if subtle. Rest in this communion for several breaths. If emotions arise, let them flow. The full moon loves honesty. And I'll give you a few moments here. Now imagine that in your hands you hold a small bowl of moonlit water. This water represents your energy, your story, your emotions. Gently place into this bowl anything you wish to release. A fear, a pattern, a regret, a heavy memory, a self-doubt, a worn-out storyline, a burden you've been carrying too long. See these sink beneath the surface of the water, becoming weightless. When you are ready, lift the bowl toward the full moon and offer it up. Watch the moonlight absorb and transmute everything, transforming heaviness into pure, neutral light. Feel your body lighten. Feel the space opening inside you. Let's take a few moments here. Now turn your face toward the moon and let it bless you. Imagine a single beam of moonlight touching the crown of your head, soft, pure, and deeply calming. Let it flow through you, down the spine, across the shoulders, into the heart, through the belly, out into your legs, down to your feet. This light fills you with clarity, softness, intuition, alignment, renewal, spiritual connection. Say to yourself, I receive, and breathe that in. And I'll give you a few moments here. Now bring your awareness back to the presence of your guides and loved ones. Thank them gently, knowing that gratitude strengthens the bond. And they can return anytime you open your heart. Thank the the full moon for its guidance and light. Thank the earth for holding you so lovingly. Slowly release the imagery, letting it fade like mist in morning air. Bring your attention back to your breath, the rise and fall, the quiet presence, the ease. Now it is time to come back through the quantum door. Bring your attention to this time and place. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your shoulders. Take one deep, cleansing breath. You return renewed, connected, illuminated. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you all for joining me on this journey with the full moon.
I'm here.
How was that, Audrey? You okay?
Well, yeah. It just reminded me, like, the moon's been a theme in my marriage, in my life. When my husband and I were at about 3 years old, we used to lay in the garden and stare up and ponder the moon and just think about the universe. And we reconnected. He would fly me to the moon.
Aw. Beautiful. That's a lovely memory.
Yeah.
Hi, Mickey.
Hello. I'm not back yet.
That's all right.
I think we were like a soul contract is what I permit.
Yeah,
Or a
probably.
contract between our souls, however it is.
Yeah, soul contract is a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a privilege.
Yeah.
So this one was a little different. I asked AI to help me write one.
Mm.
So this was partly AI and partly Kate. It was a collaboration.
How interesting.
And then I was reading, and as I was reading though, I didn't read it word for word. There was a lot of embellishments going on.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Martin?
Oh, I'm wide awake. I wasn't beforehand, but I am now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
It was a good journey. Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad. I thought I don't know that I've ever really done a moon type journey. Like they're always a journey, but for whatever reason, I felt like the emotional connection, the grounded connection, that's what we needed. And then AI added the past loved ones and hearing the messages. So it was a interesting collaboration and one that I'm going to examine a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. It was
I loved
nice.
it.
Mm.
Oh, I'm glad.
I
It
saw
was
these.
very,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You first.
it was just so strongly intense and emotional.
Yeah. A little touching.
I love
What were
it.
you-
Go ahead, Martin.
Yeah.
I saw this like patch of tulips growing in the ground, and so that was where the loved ones came in because there were like these Dutch grandparents of mine that I've always
Oh.
been curious of. So I think that's who was there with me. I didn't see anybody, but all I was looking at was these flowers ahead of me. So I think that's what that meant.
Did not.
It was really nice. That was very pleasant.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's nice.
And it said that in the meditation. That was a part of it. It doesn't have to be clear. Just know and feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to revisit this one when I can just close my eyes and
Go with
meditate. Yes, go with it.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. It was a very big challenge to connect in the quantum, which I normally don't experience. But this seems to be so much more intense this time, and it took more effort on my part to make the connection real.
Mm.
So it was as if I was much more awake and aware during it than I normally am. I'm zonked out. I'm going into deep into the image. This was where I was aware of every bit, every time, all of it.
Well, I have been changed up the way I've been doing it, leaving very long periods of you guys going wherever you want to go. This one was a definite journey leading into certain places with just short little gaps.
I love the
Oh,
gaps. I live for the gaps because you've been riding with your instructor in the journey, and then all of
mhm,
a sudden you get the keys to just, well, now you drive,
mhm.
and I
Now,
like that part of it.
did Maddie bother anybody? She started barking, and
Really?
then
Oh, I didn't hear it at
oh,
all.
I didn't hear
oh,
it.
good. Well, she started barking, and I stopped talking, and I muted myself,
Oh,
and that was one of your gaps.
thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, there you go.
She was instructed exactly when to do her thing.
Sure she was, and it was in
Mhm.
a place that was very appropriate. Yes,
That's so cute. Oh,
yeah, yeah, crazy. And honestly, when I'm doing meditations with you guys, that is my biggest, thing that I think about is like, what happens if she starts barking? What do I do?
oh.
Do I just mute?
Well, I certainly wasn't aware of any problem whatsoever.
Me
Oh,
either.
good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Oh,
I was told to remind everyone about when we were talking about the nature of the conflict going on within the full moon, to remember that Sag, it's all about philosophy and the laws and how to, judging someone for whether you stay within the right side of the law and blah, blah, blah. But keep in mind, it's also noted for being tactless. Sagittarians are one of the first signs to say, "Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, I shouldn't have said it like that." Oh, I. So the circumspection, comes with that. You define what you think and what you're adamant about, but then you're like, well, I was a bit over the top and I have to re examine that. Well, since it's in this aspect with the emotional planet of the moon, there's that thing between what you're really feeling and you're anxious to get, as the warrior, you want to get out there and say it, but then you have to edit. On the way
mm.
out of the mouth, editing before it hits the air is not easy.
No, no, it is not. No,
But that's the thing.
you're laughing because that happened to me yesterday.
I forgot all about that. Well, that's this vibe. That's exactly what's going on.
It is,
Careful,
yeah.
careful.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to let people know that the next time we gather together for the new moon, it is Friday, December 19th, so right before Christmas,
Yeah.
uh, at 1:30, and the new moon will be later that night, so 8:43 for us on the East Coast. Mickey, you'll be uh, Saturday the 20th. It'll be
Yeah.
early morning for you.
Right.
Um, and then other things that are going on is this Saturday, we are having Celeste and two other mediums are doing mini readings right here on Discord. Let's see, then Thursday, December 11th, so that's next Thursday, there is a meditation, a 1 hour, and it is free. And our medium Dawn is going to do that one. So it's called Invite Your Spirit Loved Ones Home for the Holidays.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
Dawn is very sweet. I met her at Lilydale and she's wonderful. So everybody can get to know her there. And then December 15th is a Monday. This is another free one. Carol and I are going to be on for about an hour or so, and it's just going to be bring your spiritual experiences, and we're just going to talk about them and share them, and it's just going to be set up just like this. There is it's called Led by Community. That's where we're going to be. So it's right below where we are now.
Oh, nice.
And then that leads us right into the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, couple of free things coming up, and then the mediumship readings are $30. So
Okay.
thank you everybody for being with.
This was nice.
It was. It's such a nice little intimate group, and
Yeah.
it is recording, and I will definitely put it up on YouTube and pull out the meditation. So those that want to do the meditation and not worry about anything else, I'll have that up hopefully by tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Any parting words? Anything? And your list? Did you go through your whole list? Did you get everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I will see some of you Saturday. I will see some of you when we see each other again.
Okay.
All
It
right.
was so nice to be here with all of you to share
Yeah.
space. I can
Definitely.
feel the difference in the vibration when you all are here. And so today was particularly sweet to feel everybody. So thank you for that. I needed it. Thank you.
I agree completely.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
It
It's
is.
warm and fuzzy and very loving. I
And
like that.
so familiar, Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been together a long time.
That's so
Yep.
true.
Yeah. Coming
Yeah.
up on
Martin's
coming
my
up
brother and Audrey's my sister and Carol's my
Yeah.
sister and Kate's my sister, I mean, you can just feel the very quiet caringness of the vibration. And
It feels
and
like
it's-
family.
yeah. Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.